Okay, the element is in. Good news, bad news. I had to get the element out again. Couldn't get past the hump with the contact sticking out. So, but anyway, it wasn't so bad. Second time. Just gotta connect positive, negative. This one has also a ground cable. Most of the ovens don't have that one. Not gonna be the easiest task, but make sure your contacts, the connection points are really good. If you end up breaking one, make sure you use a stainless steel connection. If you have to shorten the cable, these do burn off. Sometimes, if it's not very tight connection, if it's just a slide-on plug, sometimes you need to crimp it with the needle nose a little bit so it goes on tight. If it's loose, it probably will burn off over time and you'll have problems. So make sure you have a tight connections. And so your next element lasts longer. Okay. Hello, hello. Again, working on a stove with a bad element. This is a $400 element. Actually, this is a 240 volt. This one's only about 400, but the 480 volt, it's 800. It goes into this pan here. A bunch of screws. Had to drill a few off. Lots of fun. It's an Imperial stove. Thing's got the door comes off easy. Had to work from underneath, get these cables. Most of these things were also welded on that a lot of drilling time and a couple broken bits. Not too bad, but anyway, it can be done. The trick is get some oil, WD-40. If it breaks the bit, don't sweat it about it. Most stoves replacing bake elements, you're gonna run into some kind of screws that don't come off easy, and this one has a lot of them. Yeah, how do you unscrew something like this? I decided to pull this pin out, so that was an option. Otherwise these come off and this pan comes out. Then I can get access from the bottom of these, put some oil on those. That didn't do much. Yeah, drilling these off, you basically use a small bit to penetrate it and then a bigger bit later to get the head off. If they start smoking and no shavings come off. Shavings, yeah, metal shavings. If nothing's coming off, your bit is getting dull. Change the bit right away. Don't keep going because you get the screw really hot. Then, yeah, it basically gets harder as it gets hotter, and then no bit gonna take it. Voila, the element is in. All the screws back in. Only had to drill a couple off. I got lucky. So on these, I drilled one off and then took a pliers, turned the bracket, another one got loose. Yeah, if you have to drill these off, it's not the best, but to avoid drilling, always put oil, especially if you're doing like igniters. They get super hot, the metal gets locked up, and if you don't use oil, if you don't have oil, you can use a dish soap. Also, try clean these out with something sharp. Oil it up, and don't get discouraged if you do end up having to drill something off. Just be ready to break a couple bits. Make sure you have a short bit. Start with the skinny one, get in the hole past the depth of the head thread, and then I use a bigger one. The head comes off, and then you can usually, if you can grab it from the bottom with the pliers and turn it off. So I just got to put this together and should be good. On most of the ovens, the heating element actually goes into the back, so it's the best. Unplug the stove always, take the back panel off, and then get the wires undone, because if you try to pull it out with the wires, chance you'll bend something, hit something. It can be done, but it's not going to be safe to run the stove, because you don't know what it looks like in the back there. So this one is a very rare stove, but most of the ovens, replacing the bake element is popping the lid off and 2 screws that hold the element in. The newer ones starting to use it covered up element with sometimes access from the side or the back. Those do burn out a lot more often, the ones that are covered and you don't see the element. They look cooler, easier to clean, but they burn out quicker. So if you do get the old school stove with the element exposed, that one you definitely can change yourself. And how to know that the element is bad? Oh, look at that. If you see something like this, if you see sparks flying, if there's no continuity between these 2 contacts, sometimes it's shattered totally. Yeah, you know it's bad for sure. Alright, we'll put this back together. Okay, so the element is in, and we will be testing it here shortly. The connections look good. It's good if the cable is not touching the body, just in case. In this case, this is controlled by this thermostat that has a sensor here that is directly attached to the thermostat, but most ovens and newer ones with the touchpads, they have a control board that relays on it to cycle the element, and also have a sensor probe usually up in the corner, like sticking out. And very rarely those probes go bad, but sometimes if the relay is on the control board stuck, it can burn out the element. Although it does have a safety, it knows that it's too hot and it throw the code. But some older units might not. So a good way to test it, after you put the element in, turn on 350 and put a regular thermometer in, oven thermometer, and see if it's not going over the 350. And if it does keep getting hotter and hotter, goes to 500 or 600, you know there's something wrong with your thermostat, and it's just constantly giving power to the element, and eventually it will burn out the new element. So always test your element. Also, good thing to run it for half hour, let all the oils burn off of the new element before you put a pizza in. And yeah, good luck. I think you can do this one. A lot of the elements are pretty easy to replace, pretty simple. So good luck, have a good day. By the way, this door was pretty easy to remove, and I would recommend taking off the door when working, otherwise leaning can damage the hinges. This is the model number for this stove. If you do buy an element, make sure it's a 240 or 480, and pick the element accordingly, because they look the same. It's hard to know which one you're getting. Although the 480 version, it's twice as expensive. And this was the element for this one. Most of the doors, you need to pull the clips over, but this one, it just these slides in the hinges, and these slides right here. Easy to take it off and on. Pretty robust stove. So I hope that will make your job easier. Then there's also the element cover. This guy here just slides out. Okay, good luck for your repair. Okay, let's flip the oven, a double one. It's a 240. All of these are 110, this is a 240. We know it's the right one. Okay, here it is. Oh yeah, by the way, the model number location is gonna come up. Bam, right there. Set it. 350. The fuse didn't blow. See if it's getting hot. Okay, I can smell it. It's getting hot. Alright, we'll give it a little time, see if it stays at that temperature. I'm gonna have to bring a thermometer. Pretty little stove, definitely made for more like industrial use. It is a little expensive, but it's made really well.